You have exactly 3 seconds. 3 seconds to dictate how someone treats you for the rest of your life. 3 seconds to establish your status in any room you walk into. Miss this window, and your aura is compromised before you even speak. Most people lose their power the moment they step through a doorway. They enter with uncertainty. They scan the room like prey. They telegraph their anxiety through every micro movement. Welcome to the Presence Lab, where we deconstruct the hidden signals that dictate human hierarchy. Today, we're breaking down the science of the entry, the psychological mechanism that separates those who command respect from those who beg for it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact formula that high-status individuals use to control a room without saying a single word. Let's enter the lab. Here's what most people don't realize. Your nervous system is making status decisions in milliseconds. When you enter a room, any room, everyone inside is running an unconscious threat assessment. Are you predator or prey? Leader or follower, high value or low value. This isn't conscious, it's happening in the amygdala, the ancient part of the brain that kept our ancestors alive. And here's the brutal truth. Most people fail this test immediately. They enter with what we call approval-seeking posture. Watch what happens. The shoulders curve forward, the eyes dart around searching for validation. The pace is either too fast, signaling anxiety, or they freeze in the doorway like a deer in headlights. Maybe you pause just inside the threshold, blocking the entrance because you're overwhelmed. Maybe you immediately scan for a familiar face to anchor yourself to. Maybe you offer that weak, apologetic smile to no one in particular. Every one of these micro-behaviors is a status leak. You're broadcasting, "I'm uncertain about my right to be here. Please accept me." And human beings, like all social mammals, have radar for uncertainty. The room doesn't consciously think this person is low status, they just feel it, and they treat you accordingly. You become invisible, or worse, you become a target. So how do high-status individuals avoid this trap? They master the entry.
The first principle of a high-status entry is deceptively simple. You pause. But not in the doorway. That's blocking and signals confusion. You pause after you've fully entered the space. This is called the threshold pause, and it's psychologically devastating. Here's why it works. When you pause deliberately after entering, you're doing several things simultaneously. First, you're giving yourself a moment to regulate your nervous system. You're not reacting, you're responding. Second, you're claiming the space. That pause says, "I belong here," without words. Think about how a CEO enters their own conference room. They don't rush, they don't scan nervously. They enter, they pause, and the room adjusts to them. Watch any high-status character in film. Thomas Shelby, James Bond, they all do this. The pause is typically 1 to 2 seconds, not long enough to be awkward, just long enough to establish spatial dominance. But the pause alone isn't enough. Your body has to communicate the right message during those critical seconds. The solution. While you're pausing, your posture is speaking volumes. Here's the lab formula. Point 1. The vertical spine. Your spine should be neutral and vertical. Not military rigid, that signals insecurity. Not slouched, that signals defeat. Imagine a string pulling you up from the crown of your head. Point 2. The shoulder position. Your shoulders should be back and down, not pulled back like you're at attention, just naturally settled. This opens your chest and signals you're not protecting your vital organs, a primal display of confidence. Point 3. The weight distribution. This is subtle but crucial. Your weight should be centered, slightly forward on the balls of your feet. People who are uncertain lean back on their heels, ready to retreat. People who are confident lean almost imperceptibly forward, ready to engage. Point 4. The hand placement. Your hands should be visible and relaxed, either at your sides or loosely clasped in front below your waist. Never in your pockets on entry, that's hiding. Never crossed over your chest, that's defensive. Never fidgeting, that's nervous energy leaking. This posture combination creates what we call grounded presence. You look like you've already claimed your right to exist in this space.
Now for the most important element, where you look. This is where most people destroy their aura. They enter and their eyes dart around desperately, searching for safety, recognition, or instruction. This is called prey scanning, and it's social suicide. Instead, you use what we call the sovereign scan. Here's the technique. After your threshold pause, you slowly scan the room from left to right or right to left, your choice. But here's the critical detail. Your head moves, not just your eyes. When your eyes dart but your head stays still, you look nervous, like you're trying to gather information without being noticed. When your head turns smoothly with your eyes, you look observational, like you're choosing where to place your attention. The scan should take approximately 2 to 3 seconds total. You're not studying individuals, you're surveying the landscape. And here's the psychological weapon. You don't seek eye contact during this scan. You simply observe the space as if you're deciding where you'll place yourself. This communicates, I'm evaluating this environment. I'm not waiting for this environment to evaluate me. It's a frame shift. You're the selector, not the selected. After your scan completes, you move with purpose to your chosen position. Not rushing, not hesitating, just moving. No apologetic body language, no checking if you're in someone's way. You've done your scan. You've chosen your territory. You claim it. Now, here's the secret most people will never understand. The entry isn't about you. It's about giving them time to adjust to your presence. When you rush into a room, when you enter with anxiety, you force people to immediately categorize you as low threat, low value, low priority. When you enter with the threshold pause, the grounded posture, and the sovereign scan, you create a micro moment of tension. That tension is powerful. It makes people wonder, who is this person? You're not demanding attention, you're simply occupying space with such certainty that attention finds you naturally. This is the difference between peacocking, trying to be noticed, and commanding presence, making it impossible not to notice you. The person who masters the entry doesn't need to prove anything. They've already won the status game before the game even begins. Let's review the formula. 1. The threshold pause. Enter fully, then pause for 1 to 2 seconds. 2. Grounded posture. Vertical spine, shoulders back and down, weight centered forward, hands visible and relaxed. 3. The sovereign scan. Slow head turn, surveying the space, not seeking approval. Master these 3 seconds and you master first impressions. Master first impressions, and you control how people treat you for life. This is just one protocol from the Presence Lab archive. If you want to continue deconstructing the hidden signals of human hierarchy, subscribe now. Next time we enter the lab, we're breaking down eye contact mastery, the precise geometry of high-status gaze control. Your aura is not an accident, it's an architecture. Welcome to the lab.